Stevenson, and I live in Sugarloaf off of Lost Angel. I moved up here in 2001, became a firefighter on the Sugarloaf Fire Protection District in 2005, became an EMT in 2006, and have been on a couple wildland fires in my time up here. But on Labor Day, I was on a really big fire. I actually was headed down into town, and we got a page. I didn't actually have my pager with me, and I was almost run over by everybody else going the other way, and I found out the page was a small wildland fire in Arkansas Mountains. So, okay, I go down, do my errand, and I was sitting with a friend of mine looking east in Boulder, and I look up, and my jaw dropped and said, "I gotta go." And my friend to this day, 3 weeks later, says, "Your face at that second was unbelievable." I turned around, looked back, and there was a cloud over my home, over my community, that stretched for like 2 miles, black in the sun. And so I just hauled back home as fast as I could, and they hadn't closed the roads yet. Because at my house I collect critters, and I had 5 cats, 3 dogs, 1 ferret, and I just brought my horses up. So I had 7 horses on my property, and they'd only been there for 7 days. And I didn't have a trailer yet. So, and I looked to the east again and said, that fire's coming, that fire's coming. So I went to my house, took all of my creatures, stuck them in the car, and tried to figure out what I was going to do with the horses. Did not know what I was going to do with the horses. And the wind at this time was still coming out to the west, and then slowly it started to come from the east. The wind pressed the smoke over the Lost Angel Hill, and I started having smoke in my corral. At that point I did not know what I was going to do with my 7 horses. So I was listening to the radio because I had that opportunity to be in the fire department. And I heard it's coming to Sugarloaf Road, it's coming close. And all I could do was get down on bended knee and just pray for something to happen, somebody to tell me what to do. Do I let my horses go? Do I keep them? I don't know what to do. So, and this was a very emotional time for me because I hadn't talked to my roommate who had brought up her horses, and I was in charge of her horses and my horses, and they had blocked the road, and she wasn't going to get up. And so I went and I took 2 things of baling twine and tied them on 2 corrals, and said, okay, the gelding and the stallion will break out if they have to, but I didn't want to let them go. So I pulled out, and I was like, I've got to do this. I've got to leave my horses in my home to get out of here. And it was smoky. And then I went down to my neighbors. I said, I'm going to go back and I'm going to cut one of the baling twines. So I went back, got my scissors, I cut the bottom one on both of my pastures, and then figured they only have 1 to break out of. And I was pulling, I said, oh my God, my neighbor's out of town, my neighbor's out of town. So I had to go over and get her cat, because it's what we do up here. We get each other's critters, we take care of each other. So I ran back into my house, got my gym bag, went over to my friend's house, ran upstairs, took her cat, shoved her in the duffel bag, zipped her up, went downstairs, and I was pulling out of her driveway, and one of my neighbors, who I've met her once, was driving past me with the horse trailer to get my horses. It's like, so this is such an amazing community. And then so she got some of my horses out, and she said, we're going to get the other trailers in. Okay. So I found out later that the trailers were actually stopped by the cops, and one of my other neighbors, who was an ex-race car driver, they stopped her, and she says, get out of my way. Get out of my way right now. Sure enough, the cops stepped back, 3 more trailers came in. Boom, you got all the horses out. All the horses out, and it's like, and I actually have pictures. We have this little caravan going up Old Town side and leaving, and you can see, like, over the trailers, this huge plume of smoke, and just people like, oh my God, oh my God. So, and one thing, as a firefighter, I know that I had to take care of what was important to me. I had to, take care of my house, my critters, my neighbor's critters, my horses, and get them to where I felt they were safe. So I did that. And then I could turn around and come fight the fire. And I wasn't sure what to do because there was lots of people, lots of different places, and it was so big. And usually in Sugarloaf we call for mutual aid, and we have people from Ned, from Fourmile, from Sunshine, from Boulder. They were busy. They were fighting their own fires, so we were on our own. So and the fire burned over 7,000 acres and about, I think, 170 structures close to in 48-hour period. It's huge, and it's called the 4-mile fire because that's where the fire originated from, but it spread to communities northeast, south, and west. And Sugarloaf, Gold Hill, Sunshine County. They even evacuated some people in Boulder, although it didn't actually reach Boulder City. The devastation has been overwhelming, and we've got 9 firefighters who lost their homes. We've had fire stations that were burned who lost all their equipment. And these fire departments don't just put out fires. They help people search and rescue. They help people who have heart attacks. They run on emergency medical calls all the time. We help tourists out who get, in a vehicle accident. They're just passing through because they want to come see this incredible area we live in. So anything you can do to really just help step in to bring the community back, to help us heal and get apparatus and get houses and get people to get back in the communities, because we've had fires here before. People do not leave. We stay here. We believe in these communities, and we will rebuild them, absolutely. Anything you can do to help us make it safe and bring us back to communities is awesome. And the artists that are providing their time, thank you very much, because I really appreciate, and the community is going to really appreciate your time and efforts, and all the artists and all the volunteers who are helping, who have helped, and will help in the future. And just want to really say thanks, because this is a tough time. It's a tough time. This community has been through Black Tiger Fire 20 years ago. We're going through it again. It doesn't get any easier.